In this video, we will start with our basic configuration that will involve configuring all of our interfaces based on our network diagram. This will involve configuring the IP address, the subnet mask, and bringing our interfaces up to be operational. Let's start on the left with R2 and begin our basic configuration. Let's get into our config mode. Let's first configure our LAN facing interface with the IP address of 192.168.2.1. Let's do no shutdown to bring up this interface. Next, we will configure our WAN interface connecting to R1 with the IP address of 10.1.2.2 and do no shutdown. So we're done here. Let's exit out. Let's go to R1 and do the same thing. Into our config mode, let's configure our LAN facing interface. That is using the IP of 192.168.1.1. Do a no shutdown. And let's configure our WAN facing interface connecting to R2. We have two WAN interfaces. Let's do no shutdown. And let's configure the WAN interface connecting to R3. And let's do no shutdown. So we're done here. Let's exit out. Let's go to R3. Let's go into our configuration mode and then configure our LAN facing interface using the IP of 192.168.3.1. Do no shutdown and let's configure our WAN facing interface connecting to R1. And let's do a no shutdown. And we are finished configuring our three routers. Let's confirm if all interfaces are up and running in R3. So here we see that our LAN facing interface of Fast Ethernet 0/0 is in a up state with the correct IP address reflected in our network diagram. And the same for our WAN facing interface configured on serial 0/0 with the correct IP, and this is also in a up state. Let's do a ping test to confirm basic connectivity by pinging the WAN IP in R1. And that ping is successful. Next, let's save our configuration, which is very important. Now let's go to R1 and confirm that all interfaces are up there. And here we see that our interfaces for our LAN and our two WAN interfaces have the correct IP address, and they're all in a up state as well. Let's now do a connectivity test for the two WAN connections on R2 and R3. Let's ping the IP for R3 first. Great, that is successful. Now let's ping the WAN IP for R2. And that connectivity is also successful. So now let's go ahead and let's save our configuration. And let's go to R2 and confirm that all those interfaces are up. And here we see our interfaces with the correct IP addresses, and they're also in a up state. So let's do another ping test, pinging the WAN IP in R1, which should be successful. And we do. Let's save. So now at this time, we have completed the basic configuration on our network, and we have confirmed all basic connectivity between them.